Todd, first off, the lineup, the obvious omission of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. If we could maybe get an update on his status and some of the reasons why everyone's where they are.
Well, he's not going to play. He took a blow to the head. He's got a minor concussion, and we're going to treat it with kid gloves at this point. Where we are in the standings and the time of year, we're not going to fool around with it. If he comes back to us and the doctors clear him, he'll play again. If not, then he won't.
To get this out of the way, I'll ask you, did the recall of Michael Haley play any factor in determining your lineup tonight?
No, everyone's going to ask that question. Look, we had a 20-year-old that felt he needed to stand up for a teammate. His perception or read on a play was wrong, and he crossed the line. He stood up. He served his suspension, and that's where we're at. And we've come to play hockey. I think the ball's in their court. They have playoffs coming, and they get to dictate how the game goes. So we're going to come out and we're going to play hockey and see what happens.
Is Patrick Maroon full bore in terms of you expect him to play his usual 17, 18 minutes of hard-working hockey in the corners tonight, or is that something you have to watch a little bit to see how he's feeling?
No, I think he'll be fine. He was a little under the weather. He's had some time to recoup. Hasn't skated as much, but he'll be fine. We'll play him, and we'll make judgment calls as the game goes on to see how effective he is.
Cam Talbot in goal again?
Yes, Cam.
Just going to play it by ear when you get back with LB, or is he going to play?
No, LB will play. LB will play again. We have a schedule that's laid out, and there's a chance he could play in this road trip. Yep.
Coach, it's almost been a year now since you've taken over the team. How would you assess this year so far?
Well, if we assess it based on standings and points, wins and losses, we're disappointed. But we have put a foundation into place that we think we can grow off of. Disappointed in the number of man games lost to injury. It's been a huge number. It's never allowed us to see our team completely together on any given night. So that's disappointing. I think that we've solidified our goaltending situation, which is a goal of ours. We still have some work to do on the blue line. We're finding out about our forwards. But the players are beginning to feel more comfortable with the coaching staff, our language, how we approach things. And we feel going forward we can make some more steps, or take some more steps, pardon me, for next year. But, if you base it on pure wins and losses, it's been disappointing.
If you'd been able to play, would you have been back with Leon tonight? Did you still like that?
Yeah, I would have. I think we talked about this after Phoenix. We got 30, I don't know how long Nuge stayed in the game, 30 minutes of seeing them together, and that wasn't the plan. We wanted to run them for some games. Had they been able to play like they did in the first half of the game, I think we would have had a pretty effective line. But unfortunately, he's hurt, and we don't have that option, and I'm not sure if we'll get to see it again. It goes back to talking about dealing with injuries and not knowing what we really have or don't have.
The other thing that occurred 2 weeks ago in your matchup with San Jose is you had some chances early on Reimer and didn't have the requisite polish. If you get those same chances again, were you overall pleased with the chances you were able to generate against the Sharks last time?
Well, we were, but they were playing, I believe they were playing back-to-back. They're fresh here, they're at home. I don't think they're going to give up those chances as frequently. And we also had opportunities in Arizona the other night that we didn't bear down on. So some of our, not some, all of our players have to understand those moments don't come often. And when you get them, you have to find a way to put them in the back of the net. And it's a real significant difference between it being a 20 to 24 goal scorer and hitting the 30 mark is finding the net when you get those opportunities and bearing down.
What have you seen from Taylor, from Halsey, the last while that in the first half of the season, lots was happening offensively? Does he look like he's forcing it, or?
I see a lot of chances that aren't going in for him. And I just talked about that. When we look at scoring chances for and against every night, the numbers haven't changed much for Taylor or Leon at all. Just it's not going in the net with a near a frequency amount as it was earlier in the year. So that's the biggest change, really. At times I think he gets frustrated because he can't contribute at the pace he was going at, but we also have to look at it realistically. That was pretty astronomical how often he was scoring. So reality is somewhere in between, and we still think he's a real effective player.